If you desire to learn English, you should first learn how to spell. You might be thinking that spelling is only good in school and you will not need it later on in your life. But you cannot be more mistaken. Did you know that numerous words in English come from different languages? Similarly, this fact alone makes advanced English spelling a bit tricky to learn. Today on VuKu, we stroll through the 5 most essential spelling rules that will help you learn them quickly. Rule 1. Be vigilant of exceptions. English has lots of words from different languages like Greek and Italian. This mix makes English spelling a bit tricky because there are some rules, but also exceptions. For example, usually when you see the letter Q, it's followed by U, but sometimes there are words where this doesn't happen. So it's important to watch out for these kinds of words and remember them. Being aware of these exceptions helps us get better at spelling in English. Rule 2. Changing Y to I before adding a suffix. Let's move on to the second headline that caught my attention. Rats dismayed as butterflies declared the prettiest creature on subways. Okay, this one left me a little bit confused. I've seen quite a few rats on the London Underground, but never any butterflies, sadly. Or maybe happily for the butterflies. The second spelling rule I want to show you is this. If a word ends in a consonant plus the letter Y, we change the Y into I before adding a suffix. In English, we have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, and U. All of the other letters are consonants, apart from Y, which can be controversial, but that's not important here. A suffix is a letter added to the end of a word to create a new word. In the headline, the word butterfly ends in the consonant L plus the letter Y. To make the word plural, the Y should be changed to I before adding the suffix es. This is done to form the plural of the word, not just s on its own. For example, pretty ends in the consonant T plus Y. Comparative and superlative forms are prettier and prettiest. The suffix es is added to form the plural and third-person singular. When adding the suffix ing, it is important to keep the Y, as 2 I's together are not preferred. For example, fly plus ing becomes flying, not flying, and trying becomes trying, not trying. Now, speaking of I's, don't forget to keep your eye out for exceptions. See what I did there? Yeah, in English, we even have exceptions to exceptions. And one of the most common is the word skiing. Ski plus ing becomes skiing. It's natural to want to write skying, but it's skiing with 2 I's. Remember, if a word ends in a vowel plus Y, there is no need to change the letter Y. For example, the words dismay and subway from our headline both end in a vowel plus Y, so the Y stays. Dismay plus ed becomes dismayed, subway plus s becomes subways. Here are some more examples. Jerseys, buys, surveyed, enjoyed. Please be careful though. There are several exceptions, which we can see with some very common A1Y words. For example, daily, paid, and said. Be careful with the pronunciation of said, not say. Okay, ready for your third headline? Rule 3. Doubling the final consonant before adding a suffix. Beginner's luck upset judges, suspect foul play. A spelling bee winner is spotted checking the phone. This headline clearly illustrates our next spelling rule. When a word ends in a consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, we double the final consonant before adding a suffix. Consonant plus vowel plus consonant is often shortened to CVC. We usually do this with one-syllable words when we add a suffix that begins with a vowel. Some of the most common suffixes to consider here are ing, ed, er, or, and est. In ed or est in the headline, we saw the words winner and spotted. The base or root forms of both these words end in a consonant-vowel-consonant or CVC pattern. Rule 4. Dropping the final E before adding a suffix beginning with a vowel. Content creator faces backlash after freely admitting to using pets as writers. Moving swiftly on to explain the rule, we often drop the final E when we add a suffix beginning with a vowel. We've already seen some common suffixes that begin with vowels, such as E, est, er, or, and ing. In this headline, the root word becomes creator, use becomes using, and write becomes writers. We don't normally drop the E if the suffix begins with a consonant, for example, freely, useful, or agreement. As always, there are exceptions. Can you believe it? Can you believe there are exceptions? For example, we remove the E from argue to make the noun argument. A very common spelling mistake there. Argument, no E. An argument spelled like that even looks wrong to me. I feel like the E should be there, but no. We also sometimes have alternative spellings to help us tell the difference between words. For example, to die the opposite of to live, and to dye with a Y as in to cut your hair, or to permanently change the color of something. Dyeing, pronounced in the same way, is spelled differently. Rule 5. Vowel pronunciation changes with a silent E. Finally, let's look at our fifth headline. Ape creates a new app by hugging huge hats in the bathtub. Oh, what a headline. Now, I am super excited about rule number 5 because, to explain it, we're going to have to take a brief dive into pronunciation, my favorite topic. So, normally, when a word has a CVC or consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, the vowel in the middle is pronounced with a short sound. For example, hat, pet, win, not, hug. If there is a silent E at the end of the word, the vowel sound changes and is pronounced the same as the letter from the alphabet A, E, I, O, U. So the A in hat becomes the A in hate, the E in pet becomes the E in Pete, the I in win becomes the I in wine, the O in not becomes the O in note, and the in hug becomes the U in huge. I'm sorry, but how cool is that? That is the coolest rule ever. This spelling rule can really help you, especially if you hear the word before you've ever seen it written. Most of the world understands, speaks, and writes in English. It is a primary language around the globe. So, learning its building blocks is a big deal. Learning a few spelling rules will take your English skills to another level, and you will be less likely to make basic mistakes when writing. And who knows, you might even impress somebody important. So there you have it, 5 powerful rules, and a few exceptions, to help you master English spelling like a pro. If you enjoyed today's lesson, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more language learning adventures. Until next time, happy learning!